Greetings! Now, I'm sure many of you recognise the fabulous site behind me, one of London's most iconic buildings, St Paul's, attached by this beautiful piece of thin, light, efficient engineering, the Norman Foster Millennium Bridge, which connects it to Gilbert Scott's wonderful power station, which is now, of course, Herzog and de Meuron's beautiful Tate Modern. And the reason why I want to talk about this behind me is because when it first opened, many of you may remember that it wobbled like shit, and it was fucking funny. It was hilarious. It wobbled like shit, and everybody ended up had to do this kind of doom, 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 a walk like that to try and stabilize the string effect that was happening. It was like a guitar string, essentially, just sort of vibrating crazily, and everybody had to line up in step to kind of compensate for that. Now, this effect is called entrainment, and it's something that physicists and engineers trying to avoid in structures at all costs, because it can vibrate a structure, you know, to the point of collapse. And you may have seen on YouTube amazing footage of, you know, bridges capturing, you know, the high-speed winds, and they start vibrating at their natural frequency and end up tearing themselves apart. Now, the bridge here, it had a kind of a dampening effect that wasn't compensated for correctly, and it was easily fixed with a few springs carefully placed. But the effect, the entrainment effect, is what I find quite fascinating, because it's a natural principle that occurs all over our universe, all over our systems on the planet. You may have seen another video on YouTube of a set of metronomes all lined up, all at different beats, and they're placed on top of a sort of horizontal surface like that, with a couple of Coke bottles at either end. And when they start off, it's all chaotic and the whole system is wobbling around like that. But eventually it finds a balance, an equilibrium point, where all of them synchronize, all the timing, all the pendulums, the metronomes synchronize in time, and the whole thing becomes a stable system. Now this is, again, it's entrainment, like what was happening on the bridge when everyone had to step in time. Now this effect happens all over. It happens when we're talking to people. This is where it gets really fascinating. When we're talking to people, when you're in deep conversation, levels of entrainment happen. This is called rapport. Deep physiological, subconscious things start happening. Your heartbeat starts matching the other person. Your blinking rate starts matching the other person. Your breathing patterns start matching the other person. And this has been studied down to a kind of cellular level, where when we're in deep rapport, our cells, our bodies begin to entrain with each other. We are finding each other's rapport, our rhythms, and communicating like that.